Today's video, I'm going to share my thoughts on what the upcoming ban list should look like. I've never done a video like this before, but I figured why not share my thoughts. I love having an open discussion with you guys. So if you guys want to share your thoughts, comment them down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys agree with any of my thoughts on this. I'm literally coming at it from a perspective of how do we stop certain decks that have been really relevant, and then also how do we make the overall state of the game just healthier. So everything that I'm talking about is essentially, hopefully, moving the game in that direction, and hopefully it's the way Konami's going to be thinking about it as well. So let's get into it. So I have all the cards I'll be discussing right here. There's 4 decks and a handful of non-engine and other cards that I'll be talking about. But for the first deck, I'm thinking, just because it's the most relevant right now with Draco Tail, I'm thinking there's a few ways to either completely kill the deck or to limit its power. I think the first one, honestly, I don't know if a lot of people have said this, but I think the first one is hitting 5 mana. I don't think ban it, but if you limit 5 mana, it really hurts the deck in the sense of it limits the consistency with turn 0 like fusion plays and stuff like that. And if you leave it at 1, you can still go normal summon Lucius, search this, and then have all your plays, right? So I think if you want to hit the consistency of the deck, this is the first move you do. Now, on the consistency topic, with the Draco Tail side of things, I think if you really want to hurt the consistency, you make Arthalion 1 as well. And it's pretty much the same reason as 5 mana. But if you hit these 2 cards to 1, it really hurts the consistency. It might even kill the deck, but at least you can still play it because these cards aren't going to be banned. I think put both of these cards at 1 if you really want to hurt the consistency. Now, there's 2 additional cards in this deck that I think if you hit, it could potentially kill the full deck. The first one is Branded Fusion. I know they just brought this back to 2. It was at 1, and I'm pretty sure it's been banned before. I feel like if they ban this card again, 1, it doesn't necessarily really hurt the pure branded version. Does it hurt it a little bit? Yes, but pure branded will still be a thing. If they ban this card, I feel like it really hurts the overall branded Draco Tail, which is the best version of this deck. So I think hitting this, make it even 1 again. I know this card has been at 1 for the longest, and it's just recently been at 2. But Konami's been switching semi-limited and limited for a couple different cards on back-to-back ban lists, so I figured this wouldn't be out of the equation. But if they did hit anything for the Draco Tail version of the deck, they banned Branded Fusion. It hurts Draco Tail a lot more than it hurts the pure branded version. And then the last card, I don't know necessarily if it needs to be hit, and this is kind of a bigger hit to the branded version, but if you hit the Fallen of the Virtuous, this is just a really, really good card. Overall, it's an amazing card in branded. It's an amazing card in branded Draco Tail. I definitely think if they hit this card, it's definitely equal in hurting both of those decks. But these are the 4 cards I'm thinking that if they hit anything, these would be the 4 that they hit. Obviously, there's already cards that have been hit, but if we're trying to stop the deck and just like get people to move on from it, these are the 4 cards that I would hit. Now the next deck, I don't necessarily see it as a problem, but if they were to want to hit it, it would be the Radiant Typhoon deck. And I think the 2 cards that are the biggest issue in that deck that make it really, really strong are Crocea and then Chant. I think if they put these 2 cards to 1, you don't need to ban them, but if you put them to 1, it completely hits that consistency of the deck by a lot. Me personally, I don't necessarily think this needs to happen. I think if this is the deck that is on the chopping block, this is probably the move that they're going to do. These 2 cards are definitely the best 2 cards in the deck. So I feel like if they were going to hit it, it would be these 2. And then there's actually a 3rd card that I want to talk about, and it's Vision. I honestly don't think they're going to hit this at all, but because this is like kind of the splashable engine of this, and it's a draw 2, it could potentially be hit. I don't think it will. I think if they hit this deck, it'll be one of these 2 cards. Now the 3rd deck that I'm gonna talk about is one of my favorite decks of all time. It's Vanquish Soul K9. And right now it's having kind of a little bit of a resurgence, topping and winning some big tournaments. But I do know a lot of people that want K9 shut down. I don't think the move is to hit Azuna or Lupus or anything like that. I think if they really want to hurt the engine, and if they really want to stop it from being so splashable, they just have to go to the source. The card that is the problem in that deck is K9 Ripper. Right now, a lot of the decks that do run this card run it at 1, some run it at 2. I do like it at 2 for consistency reasons, but a lot of people are running at 1 already, so like this card isn't necessarily really hit at all if they limit it. So I think because there's no restrictions, it's super generic, you just have to have 2 level 5s, you get into the K9 engine, that's full K9 combo, plus it stops a hand trap. So like this card is just so good. And if they want to stop the K9 engine, they ban this card and the engine's done. I still think Azuna and Lupus could be really good hand traps for other level 5s, but overall, you can't get into the engine without this. So I would say ban this. And my thoughts with the Vanquish Soul deck. So if they do ban the Ripper, I do think Vanquish Soul is kind of toast. I do think if they brought back Holy Suit to 3, which this is kind of a hot topic, if they brought Holy Suit back to 3, I think Vanquish Soul would still be a contending deck. And it wouldn't be unfair because you still have the limitations of having to open Fire and Dark. So it really depends on your like deck building and how you can structure the deck. Vanquish Soul didn't get good until K9 came out. You get rid of Ripper, there's no more K9, bring back Holy Suit, and now you can have the deck. I think if they ban this, bring this back to 3, see where it's at and see how it plays. If it really is an issue card, guess what? There's gonna be another ban list and then put it back to 1 or none. You know what I mean? But I think if they wanted to hurt the deck, but then also made the Vanquish Soul engine still playable, this is what they do. They ban this card, put this to 3, and then we're good. Now the last deck that we're gonna go over is Yummy. I think the approach should either be hit the engine really hard to where it's just like a splashable engine, or completely kill it. So how I'd approach hitting it really hard to where it's just splashable is you put Cupsy and Marshmallow at 1. And like, yeah, maybe you put this at 2 and this at 1, but if you put these at 1, the consistency of the engine really goes down. And then essentially the only way to be consistent with it is to go into it via Cupsy way, the synchro, which I think if you want to kill the engine, you just ban Cupsy Yummy way, you know what I mean? So there's 2 ways to go about it. You either put these at 1 and keep this at whatever it is, you put these at 1 and it hurts the consistency, or you ban this and you just get rid of the engine. Me personally, I do like Yummy. I would say put these at 1 and leave this so you can still at least have the engine. But overall, I don't think they're gonna ban this. At least I'm hoping they don't ban this, and I'm hoping they go the route where they limit these, but we will see. All right, so now we're gonna get into the non-engine. I think my next take is kind of a really hot take, and I don't know if a lot of people agree with me on it, but I really think Mulch Armies should resolve. So cards that can negate those cards, I think we need to get rid of them. The first card that I'm gonna talk about is kind of a hot topic, but the only reason I think we should get rid of it is because it negates a Mulch Army. Outside of that, I think the card is totally fine. But because it negates Mulch Armies, I think we should get rid of it. And I think that's the first one is Ash Blossom. I know this card is like super hot take right now, but I think Mulch Armies are pretty healthy for the game overall. And I think if we can have those resolve every time, the opponent that you resolve it on isn't gonna do 30 summons because they're not gonna give you all those draws. But if your only interaction is 1 Fua and they have the Ash, you Fua, the Ash, and then they just go full combo for 10 minutes, it's kind of just like scoop and go next game, you know what I mean? Like, I think if we get rid of this, your Charmy resolves, they do somewhat of a half board, or they take the Charmy challenge and go full board and give you like 5 or 6 draws. You start with a hand of 10 and then you can go into the board, right? I think Charmies balance the game some, so that's why I think we should get rid of Ash because it stops a Mulch Army. But with using that logic, I think that we should get rid of these 2 cards as well. I love Called by the Grave, but because it can negate the Mulch Army outside of like an engine, so if we get rid of them, Charmies will always resolve and we won't have issues with getting a Mulch Army negated and then having our opponent combo for 10 minutes, you know? It's kind of just an opinion. I don't think it's a bad opinion. And I think always having a Mulch Army resolve isn't a bad thing for the game. Ash has developed into one of the best going first and going second cards there are. So why not see where the game state would be by getting rid of these? And if it's not a good place, guess what? You can always bring this back. You know what I mean? Same with this. So that's my hot take, just my opinion. I do love this card. That's why I got this rarity. But overall, those are my thoughts on the Charmies. Now, the last section of this list is all cards that say you cannot play. So if it says your opponent can't do this or I can't do this, I think we should get rid of those cards. And those are cards like Shifter, Defissure, Secret Village, Peekaboo, Macrocosmos, anything, and there's plenty of more, but these are just the cards that I had on hand. I think anything like these cards need to be banned. Like this, I play it. I play this in my Elf Notes deck. Guess what? I think this card should be banned. Anything that just says your opponent cannot play should be gone. Literally, I've won games against Sky Striker and Radiant Typhoon by just going special summon, activate, pass turn. They couldn't do anything. When you open up 5 cards, all spells, your opponent can't play. So they couldn't out this, they couldn't fall on a virtuous hit, they couldn't pop it in any sense, and I win. So I think overall, if we got rid of floodgates and things like that, I think the game would be in a way healthier state. I think if they did that plus allowed Charmies to resolve every single time, it'd be in a way healthier state. And then with these decks, obviously Draco Tail, Radiant Typhoon, K9 VS, and Yummy, I think if they want the meta to be different, those are the hits that they need to make, because right now Draco Tail is just the deck. K9 VS has just been so good since it's been a thing. So if they really want to stop it, definitely get rid of Ripper. But overall, I don't know if my hot takes are really that hot of takes. I think the Ashe hot take, obviously, it's very split. Like, a lot of people are like, ban Ashe, don't ban Ashe. The only reason I say ban Ashe is so the Charmies resolve. I just don't want cards to be able to negate those for both people. Like, in a lot of these decks, guess what? Cool Tunes could put up 9 interactions, giving you 1 draw under Fua. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal for that deck, but for other decks, it kind of is. So I think get rid of Ashe, let the Charmies go through, my first big take. And then the other hot take is obviously putting Holy Sue back to 3 if Ripper is banned. If Ripper's banned, put Holy Sue at 3 and we're good. If Ripper's not touched, leave Holy Sue how it is. Like, I think Holy Sue on its own is fair, but Holy Sue and Ripper is a no-go. Overall, this whole video is just my opinions and my thoughts. I know a lot of you guys have these opinions and thoughts. Maybe you guys agree with my opinions and thoughts. Maybe you don't, but let me know. I'm down to have conversations like this all the time. It just makes me better at the game. It makes you guys better at the game too, having open discussions like this. So let me know what you guys think. Overall, I think Yu-Gi-Oh is actually not in a bad place. It could always be better, but overall, I'm really enjoying Yu-Gi-Oh right now. I'm excited to get back to locals, and I'm excited for this next format. This next week is going to be a lot of fun. My Elf Notes deck is going to be completely different, which I'm stoked on. And yeah, overall, I am really happy with where Yu-Gi-Oh is headed. And I really hope Konami does some of the stuff that I'm thinking, but usually none of these like YouTube videos on Banlist predictions are right. So I'm just sharing my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed listening. Comment down below and just share your thoughts too. So I'm here. I'm going to locals tomorrow, so I should have my locals videos coming back. It's been a couple weeks. I've had an interesting couple of weeks at work, but I should be back into like my consistent flow with things. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to get some gameplay in. But overall, I hope you guys had a good day. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.